Hey my friends, today we will be talking about signs that your channel to higher consciousness is opening. So what is higher consciousness and what is a channel to higher consciousness? Channel to higher consciousness is a channel which is allowing us to communicate or to receive information or knowledge or wisdom from what we call higher consciousness. Higher consciousness is a field of information, but we can give it a name, like any name we want. Some would call it God, some would call it a universal mind, some would call it a divine mind, however we want to call it. But the truth is that we can all communicate with that greater intelligence. And another truth is that we are not separated from it. It's also within us. It's the force, the intelligence, which is giving us life, which is giving an order to our bodies so they can function well without thinking about how they need to function. And when it comes to our lives and the purpose of life and the life's mission or soul path or, all those different things, there needs to be greater order to that. And once we start asking greater questions, for example, why we are here, what can I do with my life, or what is the meaning of life, all those questions which many of us started asking, we can get in contact with that intelligence and we will start channeling greater ideas, we will start channeling visions and maybe voices or maybe just an inspiration to take a greater action in our lives. Because if we believe that we are all here with a certain reason, then the question is, what is that reason? And what is the purpose behind why you choose to come here? And by communicating with that greater consciousness, we can receive the answers and we can receive guidance to guide us through our lives. So what are the signs that you can recognize in your life that your channel is opening and you're becoming more aware of it? Maybe if you're not aware of it yet, with that video, it will help you to become more aware of that. So the first sign that your channel is opening is that you're receiving strikes of inspiration. It means that maybe you're doing random things, but suddenly you have received a truly great idea, an idea which brought to you this inspiring vibration, the vibration that we can feel through our whole bodies, like it is traveling. Usually when I got a hit of inspiration, an energy starts traveling through my spine and I can feel it in my hands. I got these goosebumps and I feel that I need to do it. So usually I write it down and I will take action upon that idea as soon as possible. So it can happen often, but one truly important thing with that is take action with those ideas, because it's like the universe has chosen you for that idea, because you have those unique gifts within you, which can help you to manifest it into that physical realm. So make something out of it. If you are receiving the strikes of inspiration in any kind of area of your life, it means that your channel is opening because you're becoming more self-aware, more conscious, and it's time for you to evolve. So it's time for you to take actions with those inspiring ideas. Truly pay attention to them, write them down, and start communicating with that intelligence. Start asking, what can I do with that? How can I apply it in my life? Even sometimes I can see people are saying like, I have all those great ideas, but I don't have money to start initiating them or to start like to do something with them. So set greater questions like, how can I do it? Or what are the tools that I already have that I can make something out of that idea? Because Many times when I had my first art exhibition, many young people came in and they said, well, I would love to paint, but I don't have money to buy a painting equipment. And I always said to them, I started with nothing. I had no money. So I bought the cheapest possible colors. They were truly cheap. Like probably if you have $10 in your pocket, you could afford it. And I started painting on paper. And later I started painting on some old sheets that I could find at my home. And eventually, when I was progressing, when I started selling my first paintings for like 5 and 10 euros, which was nothing, I bought better equipment with that. So whatever I've earned, I've invested it back into painting. And through the process of growing, the universe will reward you. So you will be able to afford what you're working on. But you truly need to put everything into action, because there is no law of attraction without action, right? So you need to put everything into action, and the universe will start giving you more of the feedback that you're on the right track. The second sign that your channel is opening is that you're feeling more joy for life. So the greatest change or shift can happen in our lives once we start connecting to that greater intelligence is that we are constantly stepping out of our unconscious programs. If our unconscious programs are our unconscious habits, which are making us working through the day automatically, so those are the actions which we are not aware of. Once we start communicating or opening ourselves to that greater intelligence, it means that we will become more conscious of our lives. Once we become more conscious of our lives, we will start to do more things we love to do. And that's a great awakening for many people. Once they start to do more things they love to do, they start experiencing more joy in their lives. And it's not a coincidence that those things are happening right now all around the world. So many people are quitting their old habits, quitting their old jobs, and so many people started working on their own companies, started working on their creative ideas and so on. Because once we start awakening, once we become more self-aware, as I said before, more conscious, we will open our channel to that greater consciousness, and we will start receiving those greater ideas, and with those greater ideas comes also greater joy for life, because it's like, giving life to life. Once we start taking actions with certain inspiring ideas, we start giving life to life. If life is giving us those ideas and we transform them into physical manifestations or representations of those ideas, we are giving life to them. So if life is giving us information, we transmit that information into an object or a program or whatever it is. We give life to that idea, and that's a powerful process. The third sign that your channel to higher consciousness is opening is that you've started solving challenges in your life through creative process, through creative mind. So if you think about your past, you can find many moments where you were facing with a certain challenge and you started complaining. You've started talking, what we say, trash about your life, about yourself, how bad you are, how stupid you are, or whatever. But once we start awakening and opening that channel, whenever we are facing with a challenge, we start thinking creatively. Sometimes we go into meditation, sometimes just before we fall into sleep. I will talk about it later. We maybe unconsciously connect to that greater consciousness, and we receive that idea, and we think, oh, that was a creative process. You know, I was just creatively thinking like how to solve it or what can I learn from it, and bam, I received an idea. This is beautiful. This is our creative process where we start using our imagination rather than analytical mind to solve a challenge, which to our analytical mind seems like impossible to solve. Our imagination is infinite, and through imagination we can receive any kind of idea. And imagination is that great channel to higher consciousness. So if you have started using your creative mind for solving challenges, it means that your channel is opening. And there's a quote. Today I've put Nikola Tesla on the thumbnail, if you've clicked on this video. And the reason for that is I'm a huge fan of Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla was talking a lot about consciousness, talking a lot how our bodies and brain are just transmitters of frequencies, and there's a universal field from which we are receiving frequencies, and frequencies are carrying information. And if we are constantly staying on the same frequency, it means that our life will stay the same, because we are constantly connected to the same frequency, which is carrying same information. So we are constantly meeting and seeing and experiencing same things, or at least similar things in our lives. Nikola Tesla said, "Be alone, that is the secret of invention. Be alone, that is when ideas are born." Because we can't channel if we are constantly distracted. We can't be creative if we are constantly distracted. So most of great ideas truly come to us when we are alone, when we are at a quiet place. That's why being alone can be so powerful. And if you like to be alone more often than ever, it's again a sign that your channel is opening. So we will go now to the next sign that your channel to the higher consciousness is opening. And that is that you're having deep, profound dreams. Through our dreams, we are always communicating with that higher power. But not all the time. Sometimes we are just receiving or having this visual representations of our subconscious mind. Because many times if we're not solving what is happening in our lives, if we're not solving that in our mind, you know, if our mind is too full of all the events, all the things that are happening in our lives, we will fall into sleep with a head full of stuff. And because we didn't solve it before sleep, through our dreams, we will go into that subconscious mind, and we will start maybe seeing physical representation of fear, or at least visual representation of our deepest fears, visual representations of our deepest desires, and so on. Those are our dreams. But if once we start awakening ourselves and we become more self-aware, we will start having deeper and more profound dreams. Because our consciousness is expanding, we are becoming more aware, and we will open our channel. So while we are sleeping and while our analytical mind is not active, we can get into the direct contact with that greater intelligence. And sometimes those dreams can truly be interesting. If you will remember them, write them down. Those are the dreams which you can't explain, but they are so connected with what you're about to do in your life. What are the next steps that you can do? There's many stories of people which have dreamed about what they need to do. I was reading about stories of, there was a story about one investor who was, every time before he needed to take a truly brave decision about in which company to invest, he had a dream where he was dreaming about the certain company in which he need to invest. And when he wake up, he wrote down those dreams and he invested in that company, and in few years it helped him to earn a lot of money. And he repeated that process so often that it became something natural for him. And those stories are truly interesting, how connected we are with our future if we are paying attention to all those dreams and visions that we are receiving through our meditation. So if you're having deep, profound dreams, it means that you are opening that channel to that higher consciousness, and it is giving you ideas, inspiration, information about what to do in your life, or what could be your mission, or what could be your next steps. Depends on of what you're working on. The next sign that your channel is opening is that you are having sometimes hard times to fall into sleep. So why is that happening? It was my case. Like, for so long I had such a hard time to fall into sleep, because once I decided, well, I will go to sleep, I've closed my eyes and I started experiencing like visions. Sometimes I heard voices. Sometimes I just received so incredible ideas. And one day I decided, well, I will start writing them down. And if it was a vision, I draw a fast sketch of it. And it was so incredible. You know, most of my paintings came to me during that kind of process, usually during meditation, but it's similar. The reason for that is, once we decide that we will fall into sleep, again, our analytical mind becomes inactive. So we get deeper into our subconscious mind, and we become more open or more acceptable for the information which are coming to us. So if this is you, if you're having hard time falling to sleep, but during that time you're receiving great, incredible ideas, your channel is opening. It doesn't mean that all the time when you feel hard to fall into sleep that your channel is opening, but if you are receiving great, profound, incredible ideas or visions or voices or something which is hard to explain, that's the case, that your channel is opening. And we have the last sign to talk about that, and the last sign is that you have started attracting same-minded people in your life. This is because universe wants or is helping you to manifest your life's mission into existence. Universe is helping you or is supporting you to walk your divine path, to walk the path of the soul. But it can only be initiated if you freely decide that you are willing to do it. Because we all have free will, nothing outside of us or nothing inside of us can't push us into something until we consciously decide that we will do it. Once we consciously decide, like, I will live my dreams, I will put those ideas into work, I will make it happen, I'm ready to do it. Once we decide, the universe will support us. The greater consciousness or whatever will support you on that process, and you will start manifesting same-minded people, because there's power in people. There's power in same-minded people. You know, leaders which are working on a same mission, because one person is strong, but more same-minded people are unstoppable. So if you can notice in your life that you are meeting more same-minded people, it means that your channel is opening and you have started working and walking on that path. So I'm wishing you all the best on that. I'm wishing you all the power, all the strength, all the wisdom, all the inspiration to walk that path, because many times it seems like this path is not easy, and it's not. It's easier to do nothing. It's easier to lay on couch and just watch TV. It's easier to do nothing, but it's nothing more fulfilling than doing that, than walking that path of inspiration, of greater joy, of transforming our dreams into reality, of doing what we truly love, even if people we know and family members and friends are saying that it's not possible, and they are saying that, oh, what are you doing, what's wrong with you, and all those different things. If you have decided that this is the right thing to do for you, the path will be designed, and you will always know in which direction to go. So many times it seems kind of mystical, many times it seems unknown, because it is unknown. It's out of the all known programs, and we are just designing a new destiny. And when it comes to designing a new destiny, we can't truly predict it. So all we can do, like Dr. Joe Dispenza is saying, the best way to predict your future is to create it. So we are not following any kind of destiny or whatever, we are creating our destiny now. And this is truly beautiful. So my friends, this is it for today. I'm sending you all power, blessings, and love. Have a beautiful day and stay open for receiving. Truly, stay open. And if you receive any kind of inspiring ideas during that video, write it down, because it may be important. So this is it for today, my friends. Have a beautiful day. One love.